Welcome back to the Turf Tangent. I'm your host, Sydney, and this is the other host, Kat.
Hello.
Oh God, that was terrifying. That's Kat being scary today.
It's been a long day.
The Phillies beat the Orioles in non-soccer news.
I know, I just got that ESPN
Disappointing.
notification.
Yeah. Breaking
4-3.
news. Yeah. Whatever we beat yesterday, we'll beat you tomorrow. But anyway, time to talk about the World Cup. So today we're gonna go over basically all the group stage matches. So we're not gonna go in depth a lot. Like we're not gonna be like talking tactically, except for maybe the US game, just because we want this to be kind of quick and going with it just so that you guys can know what the World Cup is. Because obviously you're probably not watching these games. I know I am, but I'm watching them not all the time live. But we're gonna be quick and just go through it and just talk about important stuff. And then we'll discuss some extra things at the end that if you want to keep listening, more than welcome to.
I didn't look for trivia questions.
It's okay. We'll figure those out later.
Okay.
But let's get started with ignore my cough. I just worked out and I'm dying now. Don't know what that's about. Okay, so let's start with Group A. So the tournament opener was New Zealand versus Norway. And I thought this game could have gone either way, like looking at it. I mean, I thought Norway was the stronger country, but like New Zealand's hosting, it's the opening game of the World Cup. Like I don't know, it just something is just different about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So New Zealand ended up winning 1-0, which
Hannah
honestly,
Wilkinson.
Hannah Wilkinson scored the goal right after halftime. So they came out guns a-blazing. Literally.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew. That was Hannah Wilkinson coming out at halftime. So that was good for New Zealand. I mean, I thought they did really good. I mean, Norway's performance was good, but I mean, it wasn't like good. Like it was fine. It wasn't anything special, but like New Zealand, I mean, they played with pride. That's kind of what they had. That's what pushed them through because Norway outshot them 13-12, so it's really close. They both had 2 shots on target. It was 51-49 possession in favor of New Zealand. Norway had 2 less passes than New Zealand. It was such a even game on paper, besides the fact that Norway had 15 fouls and New Zealand had 5. So
5
I mean, it was
what?
5 fouls.
Oh, foul. I heard 5,000.
No, I said 5 fouls.
I was like 5,000 or what?
5,000. No, 5 fouls. But I mean, it was pretty easy. Not easy. It was a pretty good game, to watch. I don't know. Norway was I don't know. I expected more from Norway, but they if you looked at their little numbers at the end or whatever, what is it,
the ratings?
The ratings, Norway's were not good.
Were you looking at the Google ratings or the FIFA ratings? Because the Google ratings are out of 5, and I was really confused why every player did not have above a 3.5 when I looked at it the other day. So I was looking at lineups for I forget what game, but it was 3.7 was the highest, and I was like, no one did pretty good, and they won. Whatever team I was looking at France for France's game, which we'll get to, but it's why the MVP of the match has a 3.7.
Yeah, I would say it wasn't the prettiest game to watch, but it was it was good. It was a good match. But this was actually New Zealand's first ever World Cup win.
Yes, it was.
Did you in the host and opener, they've tied 3 times and they've lost 12. So it took them 16 games to win.
Right. But they did it.
Yeah. They did it. They finally did it. But yeah, we'll move on to the next match. So we're not going to go in chronological match order. We're going to go by group order just so it's easier to talk about. You know what I mean? Because obviously Philippines and Switzerland didn't play the same day.
Right.
Because they mixed up the groups. So we're going to go Philippines, Switzerland. I mean, Switzerland wins 2-0. that was pretty much expected. I mean, did you have anything that you thought was going to be different there?
No.
No, yeah. I
I
mean,
think that was pretty predictable.
yeah. I mean, it was still a good result for who like. What did I just say? Switzerland. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was still a good result versus like I'm not like saying it, just like it's like one of those matches you're like not super like surprised about. Like
It was what it was, and I'm not gonna be upset.
yeah. I mean, there was I'm trying to think. I can't remember who scored. I have it right here though. It's in my notes. Sorry, I don't know why the thing's loading. Oh yeah, Bachmann scored a penalty. That's what it was. I was like, it was either like I knew it was just one of their bigger players scored a penalty. So she scored like she scored 45 on the 45th minute. So like
While we're here, do we want to talk about penalties, or should we wait until we
we'll wait till the end.
finish? All right.
Well, wait, there's a lot of penalty issues here.
Yes,
She's
there is.
She's one of the few that actually made it.
One of like
then,
3.
Yeah. But then Piubel scored in the 64th minute to kind of secure the win. I mean, they outshot them 17-3, and the Philippines had no shots on target. So 74-26 possession. But I mean, only scoring 2, that could be a slight concern for Switzerland. But I'm also like, when you're playing teams like this, they know that they're gonna play for like it's not a concern because this is going to be an issue later in the US. It's not a concern when you're not scoring big numbers against a team like this when your like possessions that high, because you know they're playing a low block defense.
Right.
So it's not super concerning. Okay. That's Group A. And next, I believe Norway plays Switzerland, New Zealand plays Philippines.
Yes.
Going on to Group B. Wait, what?
Never mind.
Group B, Australia played Ireland. 1-0. This game had all sorts of drama. If you didn't know, one of the players on Australia, or 2 of the players on Ireland were dating, and they broke up. And then one of the Irish players went on holiday or vacation with one of the players from Australia, and the ex would not refuse to shake the hand, and the match was getting
There was some death stares.
It was a pretty hard match. It was like tackles, fouls, whatever you want. But Australia ended up winning. But let's talk about one thing we did not see from Australia, and that's Sam Kerr. Yes. I was personally very upset for Sam Kerr. I mean, I like feel for like imagine like your team is opening the World Cup. You're at home, like you're there, and you couldn't play. Like she was like in tears, I think, like while you're watching her team walk out. But I mean, she was there. She was supporting her team. That's what you love to see. Hoping to see her at the final group stage match. But Sam Kerr, I missed her.
The best. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Australia missed her too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That I feel like it's still good that they got the win, because I mean that's still like a tough match, I guess. But
huge penalty by Steph Catley.
Yeah, that was such a good penalty. She
put that amazing.
Put that right in the top corner, 52nd minute, and that's the game from there was getting very physical. It was very fun to watch, but as someone who was cheering for Australia, it was very nerve-wracking.
I agree. I was like, who did they play?
Who?
Oh, Ireland.
I was like, what?
Yeah, they played Ireland. So my one cousin that was married into the family is from Ireland. So I was like, oh, like I wouldn't mind seeing Ireland win, because like I know someone who's Irish, like through and through Irish, like has the thick accent and everything. It's great. And it's a devoted Ireland fan.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like I gotta cheer for Australia too. So for the penalty, I was like, do I want it to be made or not?
Heather O'Reilly had I saw an interview from her. It was like 3 bold predictions, and her first one's like Australia could win it all. And I'm like, I believe that if Sam Kerr's back, I mean, I feel like if she comes back from injury, she's gonna come out with like a vengeance. Like she missed those first 2 games.
Australia looks
She
good.
has a statement to show. Like, yeah.
What did you think about them starting Mackenzie Arnold in goal?
Over who?
over Lydia Williams, and who else was there? Tegan Michael.
Tegan, Micah. Well, I knew Micah wasn't gonna get the start, and Williams, they've been starting Arnold, which I think is good. I think because didn't Williams go back to like who does Williams even play for anymore?
Couldn't tell you. Used to
I
be
think
the
she went.
Dash. Now I have
I
no
think
idea.
she went to England. She was Arsenal's backup.
Mm.
But then I don't
I
think
mean,
she's there.
I know she's up there in age. So like,
yeah, so I think it's Arnold's time. I think that's a good pick. I mean, Micah, I think is your second choice. I mean, I'm a fan of Micah because I liked when I watched a lot of UCLA ball when it was Jesse Fleming,
yeah,
Tegan Micah, and then like Karina Rodriguez and stuff like that. Or maybe it was Anna Arnica or whatever. There's two of them, but I like it.
no, I thought it was a good decision, but the commentators were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that they're putting Arnold in goal over Williams," and I was like, "Williams is like 40 something. Like,
yeah,
she's there as a phenomenal mentor."
I mean, that's kind of like how it's like the Ashlyn Harris role last World Cup.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
man, I miss her.
yeah. Well,
Gonna
moving on to the
cry
next
now.
match. I was watching this and I was like, Canada tied 0-0 to
Yeah.
Nigeria.
That was
What?
something.
Australia,
And
I mean, not Australia.
I don't
Canada
wanna
had a penalty kick. Sinclair missed it.
Yeah.
You know
And
why? You know who should have taken the penalty? Jesse Fleming.
I
It's because she
don't
wasn't in.
Yeah, I don't want to say Canada looked bad. Like, it wasn't a bad game, but like,
Today's word of the day is lackluster.
yeah,
Lackluster performance.
for real. Like, it just they couldn't find
know who
what they needed.
So Jesse Fleming apparently had a small injury, but she
That's
wasn't
what they needed.
starting. She wasn't starting, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, like the injury is worse than we thought it was," because she would play. Like, so we'll see how that affects them. Like Nigeria got a red card at the end of the match, but they held their own, and I mean that was a good performance for them, especially with both of these teams arguing with their federation, which is like fair. But
I was waiting, like we talked about it earlier about whether or not they would even play the game, and I put it on. I was like, oh, maybe they like won't show up.
yeah,
but it was a fun game to watch. I'm glad I fell asleep at halftime. I was exhausted, so I went to sleep at halftime. I'm glad I didn't stay up to watch the whole thing. But
yeah. Okay, well, I guess moving on to Group C, we're just gonna try to go. I mean, I feel like we're being kind of long, but that's honestly fine. If you're listening, you're
the
listening.
merrier.
Yeah. So moving on to Group C, we're gonna start with Japan versus Zambia. So I kind of wanted to see what Zambia did, but Japan, honestly, they proved themselves once again why they're an issue in the tournament. 5-0. 5-0. And Zambia is a team who just played Germany 2-1. So
we don't know what Zambia, how good they really are, or if Japan is just good.
Yeah. Another one of those Heather O'Reilly. I'm thinking of Heather O'Reilly prediction was Germany crashes and burns out early. But we'll get into that later. But yeah, they scored 5 goals. I mean, it was a good performance. I mean, they're just such a threat, and I just don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone counts them out, and they just always are there.
I feel like you never hear about them in big international tournament, like outside of the World Cup. And then come the World Cup, they're like a powerhouse. It screw out of nowhere. Yeah. And I don't know why people count them out, because they prove time and time again, year after year, that they are a threat.
Yeah.
But everyone overlooks them.
Zambia got a red card too. But
how many red cards have there been? 3?
There's been a good amount. I mean, Japan outshot Zambia 25-0, but the possession was almost pretty even. It was 60-40. So that's just like kind of interesting. But I don't know. Zambia just wasn't like attacking. They were kind of holding the ball. So we'll see how their next game is. But moving on to statement game number 2. Spain Spain. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired, guys. I had indoor
I
last
feel it.
night. I didn't get home till like midnight. And then I just couldn't go to sleep because I was all hyper. But anyway,
I'm with you.
Spain 3, Costa Rica 0. Going back to my barely can talk days. But this was a
Ugh.
pretty good game for Spain. I mean, I was interested to see how they were gonna do, and they had a good showing. They had 46 shots.
That's insane.
Costa Rica's 1. Shots on target, though, is a little more concerning because out of those 46, they only made 12 on target.
Well,
And out
you
of those 12,
what's
they made
what's the Wayne
3.
Gretzky's shot? You
You
miss
miss
100% of the
100%
shots
of
you
the
don't
shots
take.
you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Yeah, exactly.
But their possession was 81% to 19%. So it was just, I mean, they had pretty much even fouls. 22 corners, so you can obviously tell what kind of game this was. It was another low block defense, but Spain is going to be a hard team to beat if they keep playing like this in the tournament. There's not much to say about this game because obviously the stats kind of do speak for themselves. Sometimes that's not the case, but in this game it really does. It just was domination by Spain.
I mean, just looking at the shooting stat,
Yeah.
even if 20% of them are only that's the percent that's going on goal. Shots towards the goal are important because you never know like what type of deflection. Like they have 22 corners. That's
like
insane.
you talking about the deflection, just think about Sophia Smith's goal, second goal.
Right, yeah.
It was just a weird goal that probably shouldn't have gone in, but it did.
It did. We'll get to that though.
Yep. Moving on to Group D, which was kind of an interesting match day. Denmark beat China 1-0. This was pretty like close game. Like Denmark scored in the 89th minute. Like this is the most like close game with like that win right at the end. But China, I think, could make it out of the group. Like very low chance, but like there's potential there. They only lost by 1. They both had 2 shots on target and the possession was pretty much even. I mean, it's another team that's like I feel like the Asian Federation like doesn't get as much, I guess, buzz around it. I don't know like you don't hear about them until the tournament comes around. But their group is unfortunate a little bit because they have Denmark. Denmark, this is a huge one for them because this actually might be what puts them through. But Denmark versus England could also be interesting because England has not been playing very well, as we'll get into that in a little bit, like very soon. But China has potential. If there's one team that like loses their first match and somehow makes it through, I say China probably is it, because all the other teams that lost was probably good margin or they tied. Actually, I say that in South Africa because that's another good team. But that's that game. Denmark really pulled it through. They knew what they needed to get done to get out of the group because this is kind of the second and third place team out of the group, I think. But yeah. Moving on to England versus Haiti. This game was a disaster and a half for England. They didn't play like terrible. Sorry, I'm just dying. But
that's okay.
But the way they went through with like the way they won was just so crazy. They dominated possession. They outshot them. Uh-huh. So this is actually not the first time an England penalty has been doubled. One of the youth tournaments or something, the penalty was shot and they like missed or something. And then the FA reviewed it after the game and they had to go back like the next day or something and retake it. I'm pretty sure it was Williamson who took it. I don't remember though. This is a story that I heard. But
sorry, I'm just casually stretching.
Yeah, but Georgia Stanway scored a penalty in the 29th minute. She missed the first time actually, but the goalie was off her line. So she took it again and she made it. But England, that's the only goal they scored. So there's a lot of pros and cons to take out of this game. England needs to be scoring more. They need to figure out what's going on up top. That's their issue. Their defense is solid. Like there's obviously weaknesses in there because they don't have their captain, but Millie Bright's doing good in the back, and they have other good pieces. They have speed on the outside still, but they need to figure out more up top. They have good players. I think it's finding the right fit for their players, kind of like the US. But any words?
No, I'm with you. I'm a little, I don't want to say uneducated, but maybe uninformed on some of the games because I have not been watching them because I
That's
have not
fine.
had the time or energy to wake up at 3 a.m.
That's why we're
and 1
making
a.m.
this.
So
You take
exactly,
some.
I
You
get
take the lead
informed
on some.
too.
You can take the lead on some of the games. I'll take the lead on some of the
Yeah,
games. Moving
exactly.
on to Group E, everyone's favorite. The United States beat Vietnam 3-0. 2 Sophia Smith goals. Love to see it.
And one Lindsay Horan one. Can't forget that.
Yes.
The Colorado kids coming through.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
anyone that lives in Colorado. Those are the first two people I've ever heard of.
Mal Pugh.
Oh, for real?
Mal Swanson's from Colorado. Because originally, that's why I
Oh,
was confused. Because I thought originally Mal Pugh or Mallory Swanson and Lindsay Horan were the Colorado kids.
well, other than those three, I don't think anyone else lives in Colorado.
Yeah.
If you're from Colorado, let us know. What does that say?
My phone disabled itself because it was on I was just like fidgeting with it.
Oh,
But anyway, don't everyone listening, do not be alarmed that we didn't blow them out. Not every game is going to be a 13-0 win against Thailand. And I think more teams the thing is, everyone's like, oh my gosh, like we didn't like do what we did last year against a kind of similar team that people don't know about. One, I think Vietnam's better. Two, every team is progressing so fast that now these games are more evenly matched, even though you've never seen a Vietnam like game and they probably lose like against like these big teams. They're better than it was. Like it's better than it was. So also we're figuring out pieces up top. Like we didn't obviously have I don't think our 100% starting like big game
right.
lineup
I
in.
think
It was a good rotation. I think we're figuring it out.
right. I don't think that Julie Ertz is gonna stay on defense. She did great, don't get me wrong. But I think
Well,
they
I
needed her
loved
back
Andy
there.
Sullivan back there.
Oh, it was great. But I think Rose Lavelle will come in for Savannah DeMello when Rose is healthy and ready to play.
Yeah, Rose was a game
90.
changer. When she came in, like the tempo just like picked itself up. I don't know.
Right. So Savannah DeMello did great though for her
Yeah.
first start in a
Yeah.
World Cup.
That
Like I
game,
had no
that doesn't
complaints
happen.
about that. I was shocked to see she was starting, but I have no bad things to say.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty good match. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna obviously figure things out. Like every team's gonna have good moments, every team's gonna have bad moments. We have to finish some more of those shots that we had, but it's your first game of the World Cup. It's gonna come. You're gonna
Right.
have those goals.
I've
So
heard a lot of comments about where's Megan Rapinoe.
Megan
So I don't know
Rapinoe
if
did not have a good game.
address that. She played awful. I love her. She's great. Did not look good. But I wouldn't be surprised if she gets very few minutes in this World Cup. Like
Yeah, I
last
think they gave
15
her
of
most
every
of
game.
yeah, if that. I honestly could see her.
She's gonna be like the
It
Abby
depends.
Wambach in 2015.
It
Like
depends how
that's the role
important it
she's
is.
having. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess we can move on. I mean, I could speak about that game forever, but
Go for it. Go for it.
we don't have all the time in the world. Netherlands beats Portugal 1-0. Van de Graaf scored in the 13th minute, so they scored early and then they kind of possessed the ball and they had their chances. They had 5 shots on target. They had their chances. They obviously didn't get them all, but no team does. But they knew what they just like the other team, they knew what they needed to do. They got the goal. But I honestly think looking from the because the US plays the Netherlands next. Because I know most of the people here are listening are rooting for the US. So I think we looked better than the Netherlands. Yes, I said it. Will it come back to haunt me? I hope not.
Possibly.
Probably, but I hope not.
It'll
but
be a good game.
Portugal, I think, did really well against the Netherlands. Like,
I definitely thought it was going to be a bigger scoreline than what it was.
yes, but yeah, they did really good for like their first World Cup match or whatever. Their first, not like first ever, but like, was it their first ever? I don't know. But I'm saying like the first match of the tournament. Like the opening game can like there either can be a lot of nerves or there can just be like it's just different for every team, and especially with an unexperienced team like Portugal, like a less experienced team, it's going to be hard to get those big results. But I think they did good for their first game. But I think Portugal can finish third in the group. Yeah. Anything
with you.
else?
No, I
Okay.
think you covered it.
Yeah. I did my research, but I'm not going to
Proud
go
of
into
you.
like I'm not going to go into like every single thing because
No,
that would be,
that'll be a
I'll do some
end
extensive
of the
research
tournament.
and
End
the
of the
knockout
tournament.
rounds.
Yeah.
Okay. This group F, I will go with. This is the day today's match. I did not think was going to be a tie match. Besides Canada and Nigeria, I did not think France 0, Jamaica 0. That's 2-0-0 matches. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know what there. Did you watch the game? Because I watched this one. I watched
No,
part of it.
I looked up because for the fantasy league, the company, whatever they're called, posted on their Instagram like who got the most points, and one of the France players got it. So I was like looking at the recap or whatever to be like, oh, what did this person do that they got the most points?
The possession was crazy because France had 73 and Jamaica only had 27. But the thing is, Jamaica still had 6 shots with 27%, like 6 shots, 2 shots on target, 27% possession, which isn't bad when you look at France had 73% of the ball and only had 5 shots on target.
Jamaica's a good team. Like,
They are.
If you look at their squad and their players, they have great players, and I think they're finally starting to catch up to other teams. And last tournament was their first tournament, right? Their first World Cup. So
yeah,
they've grown a lot since then.
Yeah,
which is
this
good.
is the first time Jamaica's ever not lost because they lost every
Yeah,
single
I know they were celebrating their first point. I was like, that's so cute.
Jamaica's only scored 1 goal in their games too, but this is
I
the
remember watching that
second
goal.
time. This is the second time France has ever failed to win their first match.
It's crazy. When was the first time?
2003.
How far did they go in the tournament?
I mean, they made it. I'm pretty sure they made it out of the group, but Norway beat them 2-0. But yeah, I think France will bounce back though. I don't think I mean, obviously it's kind of a blow to France, but I think they'll be fine. Like they'll make it out of their group, but I don't know how far they're gonna go. I said from the beginning, if I think Australia could beat France. I think they're gonna have an earlier exit than that everyone thinks.
Man, my bracket is gonna get broken.
Mine's already broken. I don't even know why I picked my bracket. But anyway, Brazil 4, Panama nothing. I like to watch Brazil's team. They're a lot of fun to watch. Marta is like, they're just doing it for Marta. Yeah. They know that this is her last tournament. So
she got subbed on this 7th World Cup appearance.
Yeah, there was this first hat trick in the World Cup.
Yep.
Borges. I don't know how to say it.
Borgs? I don't know.
I don't know either. I can't remember when they say it on the thing because a lot of times I watch the games without sound because I have a 2 TV setup, so I only have 1 game. But Brazil kind of dominated in every aspect. I mean, Panama still had some shots. They still had a lot of passes, but they just were outplayed by Brazil. There's not much to say about it. It was It was fun to watch Brazil play. They just look like they have fun when they play, and it's
Yeah.
just fun to watch. That's what I kind of got out of watching the game. I didn't see anything too like concerning tactically or anything. There wasn't like any big things, I don't think, in this match.
Do we want to go through what the golden boot race is looking like?
Yeah, it's obviously Borgs is at the top with 3,
Mhm.
and that's Sophia Smith. Oh, I don't remember who the other ones are.
Pop for Germany
Yeah,
and Hinata for Japan.
yeah, I would say
They're all tied for third or
Yeah.
for second.
it's a second.
And then there's a ton for one, so I'm not for like 1 goal. So I'm not gonna
yeah,
read all those off.
the next game matches will be good, but
Yeah.
we'll move on to Group G. Another match that was surprising: Sweden, South Africa. Sweden barely got it done against South Africa. So you can obviously see the competition is a lot better this World Cup. There's not as many of those huge blowout games like the Thailand game last year.
Right.
Our last World Cup. I would say last year. Like it didn't
I keep
happen.
saying last year too.
It
It
just
feels like last year.
It just is like impulse. But like I'm telling you, they scored in the 90th minute. South Africa actually scored first. It was 1-0. And they were
Yeah, it
going
was.
crazy. But Sweden, they were kind of playing sloppy. They tightened it up. They knew they had to win, but they barely got it done. But I mean that's kind of it's like
But that scored 3-2 or 2-1.
2-1. It shows like I'd say they got the game winner in the 90th minute. But it's like you can kind of see weakness in Sweden, but you also see a strength. Like the weakness is you see they're not perfect. You see the sloppiness of the game, but then the strength is when they do concede, they can pull it together just like that. Like they obviously like
mental toughness.
Yeah, they have the ability to just like switch it on out of nowhere. Like they can come at you with a press so fast that like they can just come at you, score, and they did.
Yeah.
That's just how good they are. Other Group G match, Italy, Argentina. Sorry for my voice. Am I coughing, everybody? I don't know how to fix it. I just can't breathe. But I thought Italy was gonna win. I think they have a couple more stars. Like I don't know anyone who plays on the Argentina team.
There's a
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I do know who you're talking about.
That's the only person, but I don't even know her name. She's just on the one that's like on all the ads of Messi and stuff. The one that's on all the ads of Messi and everything.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Marina La Raquette. I've heard of her before too.
Beautiful pronunciation. I could not have done better.
Yeah.
This is why you say the names and not me.
Yeah, you guys get to hear me sound like a substitute teacher. But I didn't really watch this game that much because it wasn't a very exciting game. There was like a total of like, I don't remember what it was. It was a very low shot like game. I just lost my notes, so
they ran away from you.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of possession going on in the middle. From what I saw, at least. I mean, I didn't watch the whole game, but the parts I did watch was like that. Sorry for the delay, everybody. I'm good at losing things. Yeah, there was only a total of 5 shots on target.
That's crazy.
And it was like possession was pretty even. So either team could have taken this one. Italy, I guess, just made the most of their chances. They did have more shots, and they did have more shots on target, 4-1. But I think Italy's going to be a team in the future that's going to just be getting better, and I'm excited to see that.
I agree.
Okay, finally getting to Group H. Another big game. Germany 6, Morocco 0. I don't know a ton about Morocco, but I do know Germany. And
We
this is
can talk about the koala.
they have a team koala bear.
Hold on. Varu the koala.
Varu the koala. Yes. And Germany won 6-0
Because of the koala.
because of the koala. That's all we have to say. We don't have to say anything
The
else about this game.
koala has his own little jersey.
Yeah,
And
it
it's
was just
adorable.
yeah. Pop scored 2 goals. She started them
Yes.
off in the 11th minute. They were consistent throughout the game. They scored in the 11th, 39th, 46th. There was 2 own goals though, 54th, 79, but like you know how own goals can be, it can just deflect and they call it an own goal. In the 90th. So I mean, they're consistent. They came out strong. They finished the game strong. Strong performance, Germany. Good job. We applaud you.
A+.
Clap. But that's a team I just didn't know how they were going to do because I mean, I feel like they got talked down. Like I even did it because I'm like, they just weren't doing good in their like
Right.
opening, like, but also Morocco is not a huge team. I don't know a lot about them. So will be interested to see how they do in the next match. But good job, Germany. Strong match. That's all I really have to say because there's not much to say. Last match, Colombia, South Korea. 2-0 for Colombia. I honestly thought South Korea was going to win. I just thought it was going to be another one of those teams like from like Asia that was just like come out of nowhere. But Colombia's also had good. I think Colombia's been pretty consistent though in CONCACAF, like being like
I agree.
one of they're usually in the world, like they're usually in like
They did a feature before the game started about like how big and how much better Colombia's program is getting on the women's side. And just doing features on these players. And I forget which player it was saying like we have everything we need going into this World Cup to like possibly get out of the group.
One of their first goal was a penalty, and then they scored 9 minutes later. They got it done in the first half, and then from there they were able to hold off South Korea, who didn't do terrible, but it was like it was a crazy match for them. Like we
saw the youngest player ever playing a World Cup to come on, but on the women's side at least.
Yes.
16 and some odd days.
Yeah, Korea. That's crazy. I'm like, I'm 20. I'm 20 and I don't do anything nearly as.
I take a break from my calculus class to go play soccer in Australia.
Bro, taking calculus at 16 is a flex in itself.
Okay, but there's high schoolers that take calculus. Like I know
Not
people
me.
that took calculus. No, I didn't either. I chose stats instead of calculus. I was 16. I was 16. I could have taken calculus at 16. I declined.
Yeah, but calculus, I don't even want to talk about that. Anyway, good job. On. Colombia did good. That's kind of all I have to say. Like, I don't really have anything because I just wanted to go through, like, give everyone the score lines.
The only other thing could be penalty kicks, and that they were missed.
Yeah, the penalty kicks was a little odd.
Alex Morgan missed the penalty kick. Like big names,
bro. I literally texted you, and I was like,
with her left foot.
I literally texted you. I was talking to my brother, and I was like, my brother's like, oh, like penalty kick, we're gonna score, and I was like, okay, like who's gonna take it? I thought Haram was gonna take it, and I'm like, right. And I see Alex Morgan picking up the ball, and I was like, oh, well, I was like, why is Alex Morgan taking it? Because like we do not have a good penalty taker. Like Rose Lavelle was like spotty, like hers were just getting saved. Sam Mewis's were spotty. Lindsay Horan's haven't been great. Yeah, I'm worried if we get put Andy Sullivan on the spot.
I'm worried if we get to a match where it comes down to PKs.
Yeah. It just, we'll see how that goes. But it just was kind of crazy. The penalty kicks were just being missed. And then the double penalty, it was a weird one.
So there's something to watch for.
Yeah.
Penalty and also the amount of fouls that are happening. Like, I don't think I've ever seen so many penalties happen in the first round of games.
Yeah.
And red cards too.
It's a bit of a crazy one, but I mean, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But make sure you guys keep up on. I've been posting the scores on our page, so if you ever need, they'll be there. I might flip the colors this time so that you know it's the second group. But I don't know.
That's smart.
I don't know. We'll see. I get creative with it sometimes.
You never know.
I had a slight delay of getting the results out. The first few, I think I posted a day late, but I will be better this time because I did not have it. I had to create the template, and that's what was taking me so long. But I did it, and there it is. Any closing remarks?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything.
Yeah, I mean the basics. There was nothing.
Yeah, I mean we're not getting super analytical here yet.
Yeah, not
just
yet.
a nice overview of the first round of matches. The first fixtures.
Yes. Okay, here's a trivia question for you.
Oh boy.
I'm making it up right now. So
on the spot.
It's gonna be about me actually. It's not gonna be about soccer.
1-0.
What number do I wear at the Penn State Harrisburg?
Oh shoot.
Come on, you know this. We talked about this.
17.
Yes. Because we were talking about how I'm gonna get an Andy Sullivan jersey because I wear 17, and that's why I have like a whole bunch of 17s. Like my laptop has players that are just all 17, like their jerseys on the back.
See, when I was younger, I realized that I had a correlation for 14s. Like all my favorite players were 14s, and then my jersey number was 14. But it wasn't my favorite soccer players. It was like
I did pick 17
sports.
because of Jesse Fleming. I won't lie. I won't lie because I didn't know that many. I was one of the last players to pick jerseys, and because we went in and it was just everyone was like seniors. Then I was like, our freshman class was pretty big, and I was like one of the last people. And I was like, dang, like I know some players that are like, I'm gonna pick it based on a player that I like.
Right.
So I'm going in. They didn't have much. They had like 22s and stuff, but at that time, Christy Mewis wasn't 22 because she wasn't really on the national team, and that's like Katie Brown's number. Katie Brown, if you're listening, hi. If anyone knows Katie Brown, tell her I said hi. I talked to her.
At least you had a choice. I had to choose between 0 and 00. Such a hard decision.
You chose? Did you? You were 00?
Yeah, I was 00.
Yeah, because yeah, that's not much of a choice. But I was like, I saw it, and I was like, at this time, I was like, Jessie Fleming was coming to Chelsea, and I was like, this is my favorite team. Like, she's gonna be number 17. Like, I gotta snag it. And then Andy Sullivan 17. Like, Tobin Heath Tobin Heath and Jessie Fleming was the two.
Yeah, but no, when I was on like rec teams, and then my first travel team, I was number 14. And my favorite Eagles player was Riley Cooper, who was number 14. And then my favorite hockey player was Sean Couturier, who's number 14.
Yeah.
So it just aligns.
This is random trivia about ourselves, if you guys are still listening. But yeah, well, that's the episode for today. I will get this out ASAP. maybe not. I don't know.
We have to say goodbye now.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Turf Tangent. What? I don't even know what that was, but thank you for listening. Bro, what?